Well, we've been hearing from Eddie Teare about proposals for changes to the pensions and also just things for people as we get on and benefits changing, that sort of thing. Mr. Cannan's contacted us because obviously you had your briefing the other day as well. You have been quite forceful already about your disapproval of where it's going. Outline it in general, please, first of all, before we go any further. What don't you like about what's being proposed?
Well, I think we're getting ourselves into a real pickle here. Accepting that there is an issue with the longevity of the National Insurance Fund, the Treasury Minister actually had a very easy win in that all we needed to do was follow the UK in extending the qualifying period for national insurance, qualifying period for pensions to 35 years, raising the state retirement age, and moving to auto enrolment in the workplace schemes. And just following those basic changes would have meant that we resolved some of the immediate pressures that were on the National Insurance Fund.
About immediate pressures, he's looking longer term. He's saying he's trying to do this for the next generations coming along to put something that's going to be workable in place before the money does run out.
Well, that's correct. I mean, we've always got to keep an eye on these funds. Actually, I don't think it was the government's main priority. The main priority was the fiscal rebalancing, and that really should be the focus. And what we've done here, we've gone off at a tangent, and we're trying to find a never-ending solution to a problem that I think is always going to be there. The other aspect of this is these actuarial reports are not often completely accurate. They change every time we get a new report. And I was a little concerned to find out that the Mercer's report, which is the report that was written for CI 65, is not based on the same information that was given by the Government Actuaries Department when they wrote theirs in 2000, or their last report, I think, in 2012. I understand that they, in their report, which said the lifetime of the fund was into the 2050s, I think 2054, 55, was based on some of the reforms that have been brought in across in the UK. And the report by Mercer's was just simply based on the current situation in respect of the Isle of Man pension fund and the contributions.
Okay, but I mean, he's made some changes. The reciprocal seems to be back on the table again to keep him in line with some sort of UK parity, although there will be a Manx version of it. Are you happy with that?
Well, it's vital we retain the reciprocal agreement. I don't understand why we need to start fiddling around with a Manx version. And the nuts and bolts of it are that the government want Manx workers to work for 10 years longer than their UK counterparts in order to qualify for the basic state pension.
They're looking at £180 on it as a basic here. In the UK, it's slightly less, so it's going to be better pension here.
Well, that's with the Manx supplement included. So that's going to be phased. That's going to be phased out. I get that. I get the need to simplify the pension scheme, but for the Isle of Man workers to be working a decade longer in order to qualify for what is effectively going to be a fairly minimal differential between the UK. I think the Chancellor and the Exchequer is talking about having a flat state retirement age of a flat state retirement pension of about £155, and ours would be 180. But to work a decade longer for that differential seems to me to be very, very harsh. And also the other point is we don't seem to have any guarantees of triple lock around the £180 that the Treasury Minister is talking about. But the fact that we have to work a decade longer, to me, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. We could just have stuck with the state pension changes in the UK, and we would have had a solution. Instead, now what we've got is a period where we're going through these principles, where we're going to discuss it for another year, where maybe these might be introduced.
Well, yeah.
And if they're not introduced, then we're going to be another 2 years down the line, and nothing will have happened.
And I was going to say that. I mean, at the end of the day, you've only got a year to get this in the sort of system, as you like, before the next general election. Do you think it's going to be possible? Do you believe, it's coming to Tynwald, do you believe this will be the way forward or not? I mean, I know you can vote it yourself, but you've got to vote on everything, haven't you? It's not piecemeal.
Well, the Treasury Minister says that you can't just pick and choose. He said it's either going to stand together or it's going to fall together. My concern is that there's just not enough information again around this for us to make a proper decision. I haven't really seen the charts, the evidence.
His door's always open, isn't it? You can go and see him and find out about this or not. You said the information is not available.
But the point is, all the time, whilst we're carrying on discussing this, it's going to take a number of years to get to a solution. We're 10 years behind the curve on this. Don't forget, in the UK, they started this process. Actually, they started this process in 2002 when the first commission was set up to investigate into the state of the public pensions. And we've now worked ourselves into a situation where we seem to be trying to try and play the system so that we have this Manx solution. But the Manx solution means that our workers have got to work for 10 years longer.
Okay.
And that to me is just not acceptable.
So what do you say? You're saying just keep with the UK and follow blindly whatever they do and hope that the money is available?
Let's face it, we're inextricably linked. The reason why we have a reciprocal agreement is because our young men and women, when they come out of schools and when they come out of universities, have got the opportunities to go and broaden their work opportunities, and that's vital. By the same token, we have that reciprocal agreement so that workers from the UK can easily transfer across to the Isle of Man. We can bring in their skills without them needing to worry about whether or not they're going to be qualifying for the state pension.
Indeed.
And now we're having a situation where potentially a worker who does 10 years in the UK pensions contribution will be 10/35. If they come to the Isle of Man, it's going to be 10/45. And when they come to calculate it, and are people really going to be, wanting to come to the Isle of Man when they know that the calculation that they're going to increase basically the qualifying period for their full state pension?
What was the mood music like with the briefing? Do you think there will be a rebellion / a disagreement, whatever, before this actually gets to Tynwald? Do you think there'll be any more tinkering, or do you think you will have to vote on what you're seeing now?
Well, we've been asked to vote on what's been presented.
And
to
how
us.
will you vote? Do you know yet?
I think that we're getting ourselves into a real pickle here. I think that basically the easy win for the Treasury Minister would have been just to have followed the UK, and we would have had a solution. We would have extended the lifetime of that fund.
Well, he clearly says that's not workable. He keeps saying that's not workable.
Well, yes, but we're trying to sort of solve a problem that is just going to carry on and carry on. And the point is, Paul, is that when people have the opportunity of going to the UK and working for 10 years less and having that security of their state pension, it's going to be quite conceivable that people are going to choose that option over staying on the Isle of Man. Now, I accept we've got to make changes. I accept that there is an issue. I get that. The point is, we could have taken steps already. Right. We could have steps to solve the problem, and we could have had those steps, in place by April 2016, and some of the pressure would have eased. Instead, now we're in a situation where we're discussing potential reforms, which, quite frankly, take a lot of analysis to understand, and secondly, are going to be detrimental to the Manx taxpayer.
How are you going to vote? Already? Have you made your mind up you're going to vote against this?
I think that we need to be in a position to understand why Treasury
are not
following the UK.
Will you be voting against
it? I'm not going to be supporting a position which is going to lead to increased consternation, increased frustration, put Manx taxpayers, potential Manx pensioners, you, me, and everybody else following us in a worse position than our counterparts in the UK.
But again, the mood music, was it positive or not? I mean, do you think it will go through anyway, regardless of how you vote, or what?
I can't speak for everybody else.
What was the mood music like in there when you had your briefing?
I think there's a lot of concern. Okay. There's a lot of concern about what is being proposed here, and quite rightly so. Pensions, let's face it, are complex. I accept that there is a need to simplify this. I accept there is a need that we're not going to end up like Greece, that we can't promise the earth and deliver the earth when it's just actually not feasible. But I also need to accept that our taxpayers and our future pensioners should not be worse off than the UK.
Right, so rip up
the island, Paul, it's very important that we as an island maintain the security of the economy and maintain the confidence of our taxpayers that our government, the Manx government, wants to look after people in their old age, and we're not getting to a situation where we're having to work ridiculous levels.
Rip up this report. Just keep with
the
the UK and just follow what they're doing. Is your solution? Would you say just keep with them?
I think there are some good points in this report. My point is, if we just got on and had followed and had done what the UK's been considering for 7 years, then we would be we would have taken a positive step forward. Okay. What we're now doing is that we're now being promised a set of principles that something then is going to come back to Tynwald by next year, and that this something is going to be for the government to get its teeth into. The next government to get its teeth into.
Do you think they will get it in place before the end of this House, then, or not?
Well, they'll probably have another set of proposals, a firmer set of proposals, which are clearer and that we can all understand. The point is, the longer this goes on, the worse the situation gets. My point was, just follow the UK. It was an easy win for the Treasury Minister. There couldn't really have been any arguments. We were under reciprocal agreement. Increased the qualifying years. Increase the state retirement age, bring in auto enrolment in the workplace to help provide added security for people in their retirement, and we would have had a better lifeline, a better extended fund, more money going into the fund, and it would have eased some of the pressure. The other issue I have is that this seems to have become the big priority of the government. Actually, the big priority of the government was fiscal rebalancing. We will run out of cash faster than we'll run out of pension money, because the pension fund is well protected, the National Insurance Fund is well protected. Our main priority is actually to sort out the rebalancing and to have some truthfulness and honesty about that.
Okay, another day, another story, but on this, how would you say, at the end of the day, not happy completely? You can see he's got a potential. I mean, how would you sum this up?
I think we're getting ourselves into a pickle, and instead of just taking the clean, simple option, following the UK, adjusting appropriately in some of the around that basic principles that have been brought in, and we would have had a positive step forward. Instead, we're now in a period of long debate. We're creating potentially more bureaucracy, more cost, and really at a time when we should be pressing ahead with simple solutions rather than complex ones.